At the conclusion of both meetings, we hope you'll join us upstairs for complimentary buffet lunch. Now we'll move on to see, is there any old business or any new business that anybody would like to address? Mr. Woodson?
Yes. I'm going to come up there, Louis.
You can. I was going to move after old business and new business
Okay.
to Q&A. Any old business or any new business? So now we will move to Q&A. And as I mentioned before, please limit your questions and comments to two minutes. You just do that?
Yeah, we have two properties, so it'll be 4 minutes. No, I'm fine. On July 15th,
Wait.
2025.
Benefit of the people that are on Zoom, can you speak into the microphone?
Sure.
Thank you.
On July 15th, 2025, 3 federal appeals court judges, Niemeyer, Harris, and Berner, concluded a reasonable jury could find that the corporation violated Federal Fair Housing Act and Maryland state law by refusing to make a reasonable accommodation to its land use restrictions for the Lucy's proposed facility, by retaliating against the Lucy's for protected activity, and by discriminating on the basis of disability. And we have continued to suggest we want to settle the dispute. But the Gibson Island Corporation is refusing, instead wants to depose an 86-year-old family member of ours who was disabled war hero of 500 Marine Corps helicopter missions in Vietnam and who is recovering from 2 hip surgeries, multiple wounds from the fall that broke his hip, and suffering from Parkinson's. You all are complicit in this discrimination other than Steve Shue, as he wrote the law in 2015 that put the disabled back into every neighborhood in Anne Arundel County, including Gibson Island Peninsula neighborhood, so the disabled could have the choice to live and enjoy themselves in Anne Arundel County, just as federal law and state law require. If we were to spend the next 330 days while waiting for the November 2nd trial to begin, writing an online video book of the 20,000 pages of emails, depositions, testimony, MOUs, legal papers, and county letters stating Lucy's are in compliance with all laws and answering the question, is the Gibson Island Peninsula neighborhood the most discriminatory neighborhood in America? That book might become your legacies, as you all would have played a role, even if your role is to allow the discrimination to continue. Certainly some members of the Gibson Island Peninsula neighborhood would warrant their own legacy chapters, such as Henry Hopkins for Lucy's plans to open a group home on the Gibson Island pose a significant threat to the island on many fronts, and Guy Sakala for writing, looking at a 1-inch netting, 20 feet high, 196 feet long, price is $5,125. Lawyers have signed off on ordering. Lucy's, in testimony to the Accommodations Committee, stated we would shrink wrap the disabled in diapers all day. Obviously, that's fraud and fraudulent. And saw Sean Murphy for threatening to assault me with the Gibson Island Special Police in this very room during a recent annual meeting. Louis Sarkis for claiming there's no business in the neighborhood, even though there are 8 businesses in the neighborhood today. The corporation, the real estate brokerage, the club, the church, the post office, the boat works, the yacht squadron, and the Historical Society. Jim Daly for launching this fair housing fight against the Fair Housing Act. We'll do our best to defend the deeds and agreements versus the FHA. We're taking a 360-degree look how to block CL, even if the group home is by right and consistent with the FHA. The Problem House, which brought the Department of Justice and HUDs and the Federal Appeals Court and Law 360 to put in print for America all of your 99% white anti-ADA, anti-disability legacies. Other members of the Gibson Island Peninsula neighborhood would still warrant noting their discriminatory words, such as Opie Owens. Our long-term elderly move elsewhere. They understand and want to preserve the nature of the community. Amy Gould writes, under no circumstances should a group home project be allowed in areas without public sanitation, as it has the capability of widespread compromise and failure of all the adjacent private systems. Catherine Raley writes, GI Club is putting up a huge net in front of the new house on the edge of the golf course so balls won't go into his yard, and she puts a wink emoji and a smile face. Should really add to his residence view of the bay. Middle finger to you. But she changed her discriminatory attitude when during her deposition, she was asked if she wanted her fathers to be treated the same way and as assisted living in Kensington near one of our houses. She didn't want that to happen. Sarah Canny stated, if anyone really is having difficulty, she was speaking about the disabled, that want to meet with me, we'd just meet somewhere else, rather than make her office entrance ADA compliant. David Weinberg wrote, the island as the home of insensitive elitists who don't consider themselves subject to the same rules as the rest of the population. Again, we have wanted to settle the case for the past 5 years, and we still want to settle the case today. And we have explained to Rick Edmonds how it would not cost any GIC HOA stockholders any money to settle early. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, Mr. Lucy. Do we have any other questions or comments? Jim?
Louis, I'd like to follow up for our residents and neighbors here, of course. Oh, thank you. All of these comments we just heard are so extreme and unreasonable, when in fact the law is designed to protect both the disabled and handicapped, and also communities like ours. The law specifically states that a business operator may not impose an undue financial or administrative burden. So our position is the enormous burden that's being placed on this community can be addressed in court, as it should be. And I think any fair-minded judge or jury, or heck, you can find 6 people you bump into at BWI and present the facts, and I think they would fairly say Gibson Island should prevail. Thank you.
Thank you. Opie, did you have any other? I think I saw Opie. Did you have a question or comment?
I just felt like what was interesting about what Craig said.
Use the mic.
Can you not hear me? What was interesting about what Craig said was, first of all, he spoke very quickly. And that's very difficult for someone, myself included, to hear. And I wonder about the people who are watching this on Zoom. But more to the point, I think the things he quoted from, I know from mine, I said a lot more, and I think he cherry-picked what he wanted you to hear, as opposed to the rest of the letter that I wrote. So I just know that for me, and I kind of resent that. That's a little, but I appreciate very much what Jim said, because I think most of us don't know the letter of the law. So that's all.
Thank you. Before we go, and I really don't want to engage in a dialogue here, but I just want to address the prospects of, or the issue of settlement. It's our policy to not comment on settlement discussions or privileged legal decisions while the case is pending. I will repeat what we have previously advised Mr. Lucy and his counsel. We will fully consider any and all firm settlement proposals if they are put in writing and sent to our counsel.